Hello everyone, it's Clay from Clay's Collections back again with another thrift store haul from Western Nebraska. Actually, this is an antique store haul. And I've been driving back to Nebraska for, when did I move? For over 40 years to see family. And for a good portion of that, I'd say at least 20 years, because that's what he said he was in business. I've been driving through this one town, and it's always had this sign, antique store, downtown, open 7 days a week. But I've never stopped. And I was like, and it's again a small town in the middle of Nebraska. So this time we're driving back, and I'm like, Cindy, let's stop. I've always wanted to. And we did, and I'm so glad we did. I paid up for what I'm going to show you, but there was a reason, and I'll get into that as we go through the story. But this is one of those antique stores that you have to dig, and you have to be willing to get dirty. Not be afraid of the dirt. And if you want to dig, you can find some great stuff, and the guy is willing to deal. So, there's two pieces that are the two that I paid up for, which I'll show you at the end. But they're great pieces. I'm excited about them, and they'll be a quick turnaround. Won't make as much money as I usually do. I paid $100 for everything I'm going to show you, but particularly for the two items is the bulk of that. Anyway, so let's just get into it. All right, I love this little frying pan. It says souvenir of Dickens, Nebraska. And when I looked it up, they're saying this is a 1920s souvenir item. So apparently that was the era that they made these milk glass souvenir frying pans. I just thought it was cool because I thought it could appeal to two. It could appeal to milk glass collectors, it could appeal to skillet collectors, and souvenir collectors. That's three, not two. So anyway, I just thought it was cool, so I threw it in there. Picked up this milk glass teacher mug. And you can tell I picked up a number of mugs while I was there, but mugs still sell, especially if they're great mugs, subject matter, in great condition, and they're vintage, like this milk glass one. Teacher, and I come from, my wife and daughter are both teachers, and a number of other relatives, so had to grab the teacher one. I did pick up another elf. This one's with the tree trunk. This is a Royal Copley piece. It's not in the best of condition. Well, it's not cracked. It is losing some finish on the back, but the front still looks really good with the exception of a chip on his hat. But again, I have somebody who loves these, so I will check with her, see if she wants it first. And then, look at this. There's wonderful little roly-polies in this caddy, mid-century modern caddy. These are, I'm going to put these at the Pink Elephant for $30, just because with the caddy, and the caddy's in great shape, the metal's not deteriorating anything. And this is the kind of stuff that people like at the Pink Elephant, so I will do that. And the other thing, one of the other dealers at the Pink Elephant, she loves Pyrex and deals with a lot of Pyrex, so she said if I see any Pyrex to pick it up. Well, I did find a few pieces, but way too expensive, for resale, and it wasn't that special of a piece. But at this particular antique store, I found two lids. I found the olive pattern, in white, and it's in great condition. And I found the daisy pattern in really good condition. It does have a few scratches on it, but for a couple dollars each, they were a good find. I can quickly get my money back by selling them to her. But the other thing I found, this is Pyrex. This is a Pyrex warmer, electric server it's called. Look at that fabulous pattern on there. I'll have to plug it in to make sure it works, but I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. It's in excellent condition other than being a little dirty. So I was excited about that. This is actually, a $25 item. That's what it sells for retail. So, and I've never seen one before. So I was excited about that. Okay. So then I asked him if he had any hen on nests, right? A store like that, he should have some. And him and Hottie had a couple, and I was looking for the smaller, like salt cellars or candy dish ones. And so then he started digging out some, and that he picked up a year ago, he said. And so I'm going to start with the first one, which is this Rooster, the Rooster candy dish. Now this one is in a green jadeite-ish color, but this is actually a Martha Stewart version of the Rooster candy dish. There were different manufacturers that made these originally, but Martha Stewart came out with her line. As some of you probably know, Martha Stewart has this line of jadeite stuff, or this greenish color, in modern pieces that they're producing. They are still valuable. Like this one, it sells for like $75 or $50 to $70, I will say. So that's, you know, I just think it's a great piece. It's a great statement piece to have on my shelf, because again, part of that retail is having stuff that draws people's eye to your booth, to your area. So I pick up stuff like that sometimes just for that effect. You know, it might not sell right away, it might take a long time, but it draws people into my retail space. So that's the other thing to always keep in mind if you have retail space. And then the other item was this massive hen on nest made by Fenton. It's marked both on the bottom piece and on the lid, in the jadeite glass. This is a great piece. Again, a $75 piece. I will probably put 70 on it, at 75, maybe 75, because we can give, you know, if people ask, a 10% discount. So I'll probably put $75 on it, because it's massive. It's the largest I've ever seen, and there's not too many of them from the research I can find. So it's a fairly rare piece. People like their hen and nests. It does need a good clean, but it'll be beautiful. Again, it's in excellent condition. So, you know, I paid like $35 for both of those each. $35 for this, $35. So I'm gonna be able to double my money on those. Typically, you want to at least triple your money. So anyway, so while we were negotiating, I got one more piece. So while we were negotiating, he says, "Oh, I saw you guys looking in this cabinet. Was there anything in there you were interested in?" I said, "Yes, the Fenton basket." So he pulls it out and said, "Why don't I throw that in?" So he threw this in, and that kind of sealed the deal for me. Because again, this is a $18 to $20 little basket with the opalescent ruffled edge on it, hobnail. So that made it worth it to me for paying that much for all of them. But again, it was for the two specific pieces that I was paying for. And I'll get, you know, I'll get my money back over time. But considering how little I paid for all of the other thrift stores that we were at, I figured I could splurge a little bit. Oh, and this was the other part of the reason why, which I was going to go to in earlier, but I'll go into it now if you've watched this far. So thank you for watching so far. The guy was telling us his wife, he used to run the business with his wife. His wife passed away about 7 years ago. Now, what's interesting is his wife went to the same high school I went to. She was 2 years ahead of me. He said the name, and it didn't really ring a bell with me. She did drop out, so that's another probably reason why I didn't get to know her, because otherwise she would have, because I had just moved there probably the year after. I went to my freshman year, 9th grade, at that school, and she dropped out that year, so that's probably why I don't remember who she was. Anyway, but that was pretty ironic. And, you know, he was talking about how slow his business is now, and somebody cut down his sign that he used to have out on the highway, and he had just a lot of different issues over the last couple of years, and, you know, so he tugged at my heartstrings, which was fine. So that's why, again, another reason why I wanted to be able to help him out and pay up for what I'm getting. So anyway, that's my little story. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.